Hello, good people. Spot of Nerd here with a brand new episode that I am not going to edit very much because I just simply want to talk about some stuff that I think is very important, is very awesome, is political, also revolves around the nerdy shit. And I figured, what the fuck, let's just talk and not worry too much about doing some spiddly spiffs and blah 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 blah. Albeit I probably still will, because not only is there some absolutely incredible things happening right now in the United States with President Trump, but we also just had the teaser for yet another Fantastic Four film brought to you by the ones and only, plural if that matters or is correct, Disney Marvel. So, albeit I'm obviously biased, I personally think Mr. President Trump has done quite fantastic for the first couple weeks that he's been in office during his second term. Yes, I will kick my own ass later, but it had to be said because even I tasted just that much of throw up in the back of my... yeah. Anyway, if you haven't already, I would love you so much. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button right down below. Give me the thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts. We're going to talk, obviously, about the teaser trailer first. Then we'll get to the politics, because most people don't want to talk about it or think I'm the devil. But regardless of that, I would love you all so much. And those that do continue to follow, I appreciate you, I love you, and I thank you. Getting back to Disney, Marvel's Fantastic Four. I need to be very clear here. It actually wasn't bad. I have to give them credit. Specifically, it's a less than 2-minute teaser trailer for the new Fantastic Four film. It's not terrible. Just write that in the history books. Yours truly, Spot of Nerd, actually thought Disney Marvel finally did something well. It ain't perfect, but it definitely has been better than 99.9% of the shit they have given us in the last, 5 to 10 years now, since Endgame. Yes, since Endgame. They should have stopped at Endgame, they should have given us a break, and then they should have restarted the entire thing over with different characters, with different story arcs, going back to the basics of comic books. That's for another time, that's for another day. Ultimately, though, this Fantastic Four film, it looks pretty good. It looks very comic accurate. Most of the cast, I actually think are very good. This is where I get a little bit of my gripes out of the way. Pedro, I personally cannot stand. Either Pedro has some of the most crazy ass dirt on Disney executives, which is why he gets hired in everything. Obviously, he's got dirt on all of Hollywood execs or studios and blah blah. Or he has the greatest agent that ever lived. This man is in everything, and I'm sorry, he doesn't need to be in this Fantastic Four film. You should, Disney, I'm talking to you right now, Disney Marvel, you should have put John Krasinski in as Mr. Fantastic, and you know it. Albeit, we did get a little snippet of him in Doctor Strange 2, where obviously different dimension. You know damn well he needed to be Mr. Fantastic, not Pedro Pascal. I'll give you Johnny, which was Eddie, Stranger Things. I'll give you The Thing, Rock guy, which he was in, I don't know his name, but he was in The Bear, which if you follow the channel, you know is quite possibly one of the greatest shows that ever existed. And then you have the gal, the blonde gal, who has been a villain in Jurassic Park. No, not Jurassic Park. Yeah, Jurassic Park. Mission Impossible. Long story short is, I'm not too familiar with her, but sure, she's got good work, whatever. Ultimately, it is what it is. Visually, again, credit where it's due. This does look pretty badass. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds, but here's my last gripe. Obviously, if you watch the trailer, if you know the history, comic books, and so on and so forth, we get a little tease of Galacticus. Here's my gripe, and everybody's gonna give me shit. I've already gotten shit from it from other social media platforms. but there's different sizes of him. Just look him up. It'll take you about 2 minutes. Galacticus is the size of, like, if you stacked 100 Earths up together, that's him. The dude is ginormous. He is bigger than multiple planets combined. So far, he just looks like Godzilla, or he looks like King Kong. I hope this changes. I hope somehow they explain it. Which also kind of, here's the questions, and I'll ask you this. Throw your comments down there. Let me know your thoughts too. Obviously, this movie is in a different dimension, different, whatever you want to call it. Again, the multiverse, it's an absolute joke at this point. This movie is based in the past, where it's almost like the 1950s of this dimension. So clearly they're going to have to explain that. And I really, let's be honest, even with the Deadpool and Wolverine, the multiverse is in shambles right now. The writing is atrocious. They're going to have to, if they really want this to become a part of the MCU, they're going to have to tie all of this together. They're very desperate right now, and I can give you the perfect example. Just look at Captain America: Brave New World. Honestly, I almost want to go see it just so I can shit all over it, because we all know how much of a pile of garbage that film is going to be. But ultimately, you know, somewhere in a writing room, they thought with the Eternal, you know, the guy that's stuck out of the ocean after Eternals. Was it Eternals? See, I don't even, there's so much shit I don't even remember. Long story short is, some writer was like, hey, when we write this new Cap movie, why don't we just base it around the Eternal that's stuck in the ocean? Okay, cool. And then Feige went, hey, why don't we introduce the X-Men? How are we going to do that? I don't know. Maybe the Eternal has adamantium in it. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Like, I swear to God, sometimes you want to metaphorically smack these people across the face to pick up a comic book and just read it and give us the live action version of what they just read. This is not fucking rocket science. It's basic. Just give the fans and the fandoms what they want. Again, this is a little bit beside the trailer. I'm just simply pointing out the fact that if they really are going to tie this all together, you got to come up with a damn good story. And I think that's where a lot of folks like myself, that's where we're really kind of cautious, because sure, it might look great, it might look comic accurate, but it all comes down to the story, and everybody knows that, regardless of what genre, what streaming, what movie, what TV show, it always comes down to the story, and whether or not you can deliver a story that hooks us, that makes us fall in love, that makes us fear, all the emotions in between, but ultimately goes back to the passions and love that we have for these characters and these stories. This is not rocket science. Broken record moment from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. Please, Marvel, do the right thing here. Just don't fuck this up. And we'll find out July. It's a little bit off, but Captain America: Brave New World is coming out in 2 weeks. We already know it's going to be dog shit, and we all know why. Switching gears a little bit, Mr. President Trump. Wow, holy shit. First things first, I am not trying to be funny here. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I am genuinely trying to understand, and I would love somebody that might not be the biggest fan of his to explain to me. There's been quite a few protests going on around the country right now, where people are protesting by holding up the flags of their country, which no issue there, while burning the American flag in protest of the deportations of illegal people that are here illegally, that rape, murder, commit crimes, the whole 9 yards. These people are protesting by promoting their country that they don't want to go back to by burning the American flag. Please make it make sense. Somebody out there, please make it make sense. It's unique, we'll say that. Let's just say that. We obviously live in America. You do have the right to protest. You can't simply go, like, let's just hypothetically say I go to Japan. I can't just fly to Japan and say, I like it here, I'm gonna stay. It's not how it works. I could go to Scotland. Actually, technically I could go to Scotland because the UK, but let me pick another country. Like, what if I want to go India? And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's just, it's so simple. I genuinely don't understand the argument against it, especially when right now the only people that are getting deported are the murderers, are the felons, are the criminals. Can you explain this? Seriously, how you're having people screaming and shouting and burning flags, crying on social media and television over criminals and rapists. Just to give you a little reminder, it wasn't a few weeks ago that an illegal in New York set a woman on fire whilst nobody did anything about it. Explain it. That's beside the point. We could go down 1,000 roads right now with everything that Trump is doing for the better in this country. Look at this U.S. aid situation. Before 24 hours ago, or whenever you're watching this, days, weeks, whatever it is, whenever you're watching this specific episode, you had no idea, or I would bet real money that very few of you knew what U.S. aid is. And you know what's interesting? The people that are angry about it, the politicians that are screaming about it, look at where the funding is actually going. Now, I'm not going to do that here. Again, this isn't a channel about like, let me just read off some things, blah, blah, blah. No, go look it up. Just for yourself. It'll take you all of 30 seconds to find out where this funding is actually going, but it's your money. It is your money that is going absolutely in the absolute different direction of what this money was intended to be used for. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, and all that Trump is doing is simply exposing it. You can hate him all you want. You can dislike him all you want. At the end of the day, he is the first presidential candidate, person, whatever that word is, that is exposing the truth. And right now, let's be very, very clear about it. Right now, a lot of you simply can't accept that truth yet. You will. I have faith, and I really do hope one day that you actually look at it and go, damn, this isn't right. But ultimately, what Trump is doing, he is exposing the corruption, the horrible criminality that is going on around us day in and day out, to where your and my life, financially, economically, healthily, if that's a word, we live in a day and age where we have endless amounts of information, endless amounts of technology. We should be living in a world where we are more healthy than ever, but we are actually sicker than ever. We are more depressed than ever. We are more medicated than ever before. Why? Why is that? Just ask yourself that question. How is it in a day and age where we are more advanced than we have ever been in human society, we are actually in a worse condition than we are 50 years ago? Why? It's not, this is a rhetorical question. It's not rocket science. Broken record moment. Spot of nerd. It's what we do. Lastly, I'll simply touch on the tariffs. Once again, everybody, and I've heard this, I've heard it on the streets, I've heard it through friends, I've heard it through family, whatever you want to call it. Oh my god, the tariffs, we're going to be spending 60% more on X, Y, and Z. Seriously? Oh, by the way, this whole tariff thing, it's been going on for decades, if not centuries. Politicians have done this since the birth of politicians. Please just read a book or some history or do some research, because not only is it working, because Mexico and Canada have officially paused those retribution tariffs, but at the end of the day, it brings people together. Holy shit. Are you telling me Trump, who was destined to create World War III, has actually got countries around the world to come to the table and talk about peace and to talk about negotiation to make your and my life better? Holy fuck. Clearly, I'm very passionate about these things. And yeah, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm really not blind to that fact. I'm simply going on the fact that, you know what? I'm not hiding it anymore. I am not hiding the fact of everything we're talking about right now, but just in relation to what he is doing, what President Trump is doing right now. He is changing this world for the better. You might not think it. You might have so much hatred and so much anger inside of you because of XYZ that he is doing. But when you look at the reality of what's going on, we have all, every single one of us has been blindsided. by what we've been, just from government corruption to the wars that were over the last God knows how long, to the day in and day out of everyday life that you and I go through. There's a better way. And I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. There is a better way than what we are doing right now, where we can all benefit some way from a health perspective, peace, technology, everything in between. There is a better way for all of us to move forward if we stop the drama and we stop the hatred and we stop the fighting. We have got to come together. And this man, Mr. Trump, I personally believe this is the start of it. This is that revolution I was talking about a few episodes ago. He is going to bring this, he's going to bring the world together. And I really do mean that, because he's exposing everything. Like I say this so many times with broken records, but he is exposing the reality of what we've been going through over the last God knows how long since you and I have been alive. And it's time to change it. It's time to make sure that you and I live the best possible lives that we possibly can, that benefit you and me only, not your government. Thank you very much. And that's it. That's all I'll say in this fantastic episode from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. If you made it this far, more power to you. I really do appreciate it. I know this can get a lot. I know it's the usual, like, play the violin, it's the politics, blah, 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 blah. But I just think maybe there's more questions than answers right now. Maybe there's things that hopefully one day people will open their eyes to, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, a couple things. We know for facts. Captain America 4 is going to be garbage. Fantastic Four, we'll see. There's another Jurassic Park movie coming out. The fuck? Yeah, it's got Scarlett Johansson. The fuck? Maybe we'll talk about that another time. And Trump right now is literally doing everything he said he would. So you can be mad and angry all you want at him, but he's doing everything that we voted for him to do. Okay? Moving on. With that said, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Laters, y'all. Let me just get this out of the way real quickly as an end credit scene. Anthony Mackie, I believe is his name, the guy who plays Captain America, Falcon, Brave New World. When you are going on damage control because you don't think that Captain America has anything to do with America, just damn. Like, damn. Damn.